Hey, what's going on, y'all? So the question of the day, will I be buying the Nord Stage 4? And the answer to that question is probably not. Probably not. Um, but it's not because of the cost. It's not because of the price. Um, yes, in the United States here, the Nord Stage 3 and the 88 weighted key version is $5,700 or $5699.99. $5,700 in the United States. Most places you have to pay tax on that, so it's even higher. But yeah, $5,700 for the Nord Stage 4, and that's going to be a lot more money than the Yamaha YC series of keyboards or CP series of keyboards. A lot more money than the RD2000 stage piano from Roland, and any of the Kurzweil stage keyboards, Kawhi stage. It's more expensive than every other stage keyboard on the market, and even a lot of the workstations and stuff like that, and synthesizers and stuff like Yamaha Montage, Roland Phantom. It's more expensive than those and stuff as well, but that's not why I'm deciding that I'm probably not going to get it. And let's talk about cost for a minute. So yes, $5,700 today, but when the Nord Stage 3 came out in 2017, I believe the price was $4,499.99. So $4,500 back in 2017. And adjusted for inflation today, that $4,500 back then, today in 2023 would be $5,531 or $32. So when we're talking about a markup in the cost, we're talking about a markup that's adjusted for inflation is less than $175. That's not really that bad. Yes, Nords cost more than other keyboards do. It's always kind of been that way. There are people who value what Nord has to offer and are willing to pay for it. From a business perspective, a product is only overpriced when your target audience is not willing to pay it. And that's when something is overpriced. Yes, it is not going to give you the most bang for your buck, but that's not what the Nord is after. They're trying to offer a certain experience for the live player that is a knob per function workflow, where there's basically no menu diving, especially in a live performance, and you can control all of your parameters by just touching the knobs. If you like knob per function, you like a very tactile approach and feel to your keyboards, and you are a live player, the Nord really has something to offer that none of the other keyboards do. For me personally, as far as sounds are concerned, I personally enjoy the Nord Stage 3 acoustic pianos better than any other hardware keyboard on the market, but that's just my own personal opinion. But I like it better than Yamaha, I like it better than Korg's offerings, like it better than Roland. Well, certainly don't really care for Roland's, to be quite honest. The only thing that I see, the only piano sounds that I like that are better than the Nord are actually VSTs. And I think that VSTs, when you're using soft synths, keyscapes, or something about native instruments, those are really kind of in a league all by themselves. But the main reason, two main reasons why I'm not going to buy the Nord Stage, well, probably not going to buy the Nord Stage 4, is because I don't really see much of an upgrade from the Nord Stage 3 to the Nord Stage 4 that would justify such a purchase. Maybe if I sold my Nord Stage 3 and got some good money for it, maybe. But there's even some other things to consider. So the Nord Stage 4, yes, they give us more effects. So you can have, like 7 different effects scenes. You get every single layer gets its own set of effects. Versus on mine, the Nord Stage 3, you got a panel A and a panel B. So you have 2 sets of effects, and that's it. You can't apply different effects to every single layer that you have. So the new Nord Stage 4, they got rid of the panel A and the panel B. And now you can control all of your you have your effects and stuff like that can go on any layer that you want. So you can have your compression, delay, reverb or something on piano 1, and then have some different compression, maybe no reverb, and a different kind of a delay or something, whatever you want to do on your piano number 2. So each layer gets its own set of effects, which is, nice. That's a nice enhancement there. And I do like the fact that they got rid of the panel A, panel B kind of thing, and now you can just control everything without switching back and forth between panel A and panel B. You can just control all of your sounds and their volumes and stuff like that and tweak them and whatever. And it's right there in front of you. I think that's great for the live player and stuff as well. They've enhanced the arpeggiator and done some different things with that. And they've actually gave some different effects in the Nord Stage Stage 4 that aren't in the Nord Stage 3. So that's nice. They did do that. They added like an organ bass mode, which they actually have on the electro, and they've had on the C2D organ sound engine. So you have an organ bass mode kind of thing, and I do like that because I do like a bassy organ. But not really anything major. Yeah, they doubled the polyphony on the synth section, but they added another layer for the synth section. So you got 3 layers of synth instead of 2 layers of synth. So it makes more sense to increase the polyphony. But the polyphony, I believe, went from like 34 to 48. If I was really to layer, 2 different pads and maybe some other kind of a synth sound or something like that and put it underneath the piano and play it, I'm pretty sure that I would be out of voices in the Nord Stage 3 now, or Nord Stage 4, but in Nord's defense, when you hear 48 voice polyphony, for the most part on a Nord, to my knowledge, when you hit a note, 1 note equals 1 voice. It's not like a Roland where 1 note can equal up to 4 voices, or a Yamaha Montage where 1 note can equal up to 8 voices. No, 1 note, 1 voice. So, you could play 30 notes or 40 notes on a Nord Stage 4 all at the same time from the synth section and not run out of polyphony. So in actual practice, and I said this on another video that I did about Nord Stage 3, in actual practice, I run out of voices. I have less note dropouts in the Nord Stage 3 than I actually do in the Roland Phantom, the Roland FA, and even the Yamaha Montage, because every single sound engine is separate. So even if, I ran out of voices in the synth section and the pad dropped out, the piano would keep playing. Or if I had a piano, organ, and a pad, the piano and the organ would continue to play even though the pad may be cut out. That's not the case for those other instruments. If you're using all the sounds from the AWM2 sound engine in the Yamaha offerings, you're going to hear the piano cut out. If you're not using the V piano sound engine in the Roland Phantom, you're going to hear the pianos and stuff cut out. So it's a lot more noticeable when they cut out. But in actual practice, layering a few sounds together and stuff like that and playing, I have less polyphony issues with the Nord, with my Nord Stage 3. But yeah, they doubled the polyphony and doubled the amount of storage that you have for your synth section. So it went from 480 megabytes, which is super low, to 1 gigabyte, which I think is still fairly low. But considering it's for a live gig, more simple gigs, and it's not a workstation, hey, you be the judge if that's really enough for you. But they didn't increase the piano storage. It's 2 gigabytes in Nord Stage 3. It's 2 gigabytes in Nord Stage 4. So they didn't give me anything new there. All the sounds across the range of Nord keyboards are the same. So if you're playing the White Grand in the Nord Stage 4, or you're playing the White Grand in the Nord Stage 3, or the White Grand in the Nord Stage 2, or the White Grand in the Nord Piano 4, or the Nord Piano 3, or whatever keyboard you have, they all sound the same. They're the exact same samples. They sound the same exact way. There's no special converters or something that make it sound better on any other keyboard. So that's actually a pro for Nord as well. But it does mean, hey, I don't need to go out and get something new because it's not going to really have an enhanced sound outside of the enhanced, effects and stuff like that. The arpeggiator is enhanced, and you can do some pretty cool stuff with it. If I'm going to do a lot of arpeggiator stuff, though, I'm using I'm using the montage for the arpeggiator. I think the arpeggiator and the montage beats out pretty much everything else on the market right now as far as the power of an arpeggiator. So I would be using that, but they've enhanced it. I don't use a Nord for its arpeggiator, I guess. So that's not really a big deal. But what is a big deal to me is they actually removed song mode. And if you don't have a Nord, think of song mode as set list. Think of it as a set list. So you can quickly get to your sounds really quickly on a gig. You got multiple programs and stuff that you need to get to very, very quickly between songs and stuff like that. That's what song mode was for. Now they removed it, so you might have to do a little bit more, dialing and fiddling about if, your set list changes or something like that. And you got to get the sounds and stuff really quickly, which I think is a demerit when it comes to a keyboard that's made to be played live. I think they definitely should have kept song mode on there. It's probably something they could add with a software upgrade. But again, I never buy a keyboard hoping for an upgrade later on down the road, because you never know if you're going to get it. So I buy a keyboard for what it can do for me today, and I never wait for upgrades. Any kind of upgrade is a bonus, but I don't buy it thinking they'll upgrade it later, because they may not. So they removed song mode, and then the external section, they still have the external section. And the external section in the Nord allows you to be able to control other devices via MIDI, and you can control it from your Nord panel. So you can adjust certain parameters and stuff like that from your Nord panel. You can do like some changes, program changes and volume and stuff like that from your Nord. On the Nord Stage 3, you can control two external instruments at the same time, and you can control them from the panel itself. So that's pretty good. So you can control two organs, two pianos, two synth sounds, and two external sounds as well. On the Nord Stage 4, you have to actually give up your synth section layers in order to control something externally. So you can still control things using the extern function, but controlling external stuff is going to cost you a layer on the Nord Stage 4. Which means, in essence, you can control 7 layers at one time on the Nord Stage 4 when you're accounting for the external functions, the external control parameters. And you can control 8 simultaneous layers at the same time from a Nord Stage 3. So you can actually control more layers. Granted, you got the panel A and panel B kind of thing going on, so everything's not as immediate. But even with it not being quite as immediate, you're still not able to control as much. You actually lose a layer on the Nord Stage 4. So losing a layer that you can control on a live board, and also getting rid of song mode on a live board, to me, those things are downgrades, not upgrades. And that's more important than the arpeggiator to me. Being able to get the sounds quickly when you're playing live is more important. So for me, yeah, it's not really the cost. I don't see a major difference between the Nord Stage 3 and the Nord Stage 4. It's almost like the Nord Stage 4 should be like a Nord Stage 3.5 or something. A Nord Stage EX, or something where it's not really a full blown 4. So I mean for some people, they might like the enhancements, and if you don't have a Nord Stage 3 and you really like the Nord architecture, hey, go for it, especially if you don't mind paying the cost, because that's what you like. But for me, it's really hard to justify $5,700. And for the second reason why it's hard to justify it is because right here, I have it with me actually. I have a MacBook. This is a an M2 MacBook Pro. It has 12 cores of CPU. 8 powerful cores, 4 efficiency cores. This thing is an absolute monster, and I have all of my DAWs and stuff on here. I've got Main Stage on here, so it's got Ableton Live, it has Logic, it has Main Stage, and it has all of my VSTs, maybe 50,000 sounds or something, something crazy. Too much, really, on here. And this has been one of the best investments I have made. I was using a gaming laptop and stuff before, but now I am really getting into using VSTs and stuff live, and it's just a world of difference. Polyphony issues gone. You don't have to worry about it. The quality of the sounds, especially when I make backing tracks, using this and then take it live, it's killing any hardware keyboard that I have. If I want a bass to sound like a real bass and not a keyboard bass, VSTs is the way to go. Guitar to sound like a real strumming guitar, real guitar solos and stuff, all the hammer-ons and stuff like that. And when it sounds like a real guitarist is playing, VSTs are the way to go. I mean, at least to me, all the samples and instruments sound way better. I think an argument can be made about maybe some analog stuff, but even I don't really hear a big difference between analog and digital anymore. I think that it's so close now. You've got to really be listening with a super, super critical ear, and even then it's really hard to tell. And then once you take analog and convert it to digital to actually have it used on a medium, the difference to me is negligible, if there at all. So, but yeah, I've been kind of just moving in that direction because I do a lot more sync music and stuff now, and I do a lot of studio work, a lot of backing tracks, and I just don't feel the need, when I have this, to go out and buy every hardware keyboard that comes out for, some small, teeny tiny incremental upgrades, a small little workflow change. I just, this is really, really hard to beat. And I've got a M1 Max Studio at home for the studio itself with 32 gigs of RAM and stuff like that. And it's an absolute beast and chews through everything, and it can have as many tracks as I want, And so that's really what I use. And I just don't feel a need to go out and buy a Nord. I don't think it's going to enhance my music in any way. I don't think it's going to make me any more money. I don't think it's going to make me faster at producing something, make me sound better because of some sound quality. In the workflow enhancements that they included, yeah, you can see everything on the panel. That's kind of good. With the layers and stuff, it makes it faster. They got rid of the panel A and the panel B. But to be quite honest, I don't really necessarily need, it's an upgrade from Nord Stage 3 to Nord Stage 4, but considering I can control 16 zones at once with my sliders and stuff like that, right on the Roland Phantom, and I could play, a bunch of sounds from the Phantom itself and a bunch of sounds from this all at the same time. Technically, I can control up to 32 different sounds simultaneously, counting internal sounds and external sounds. Of course, on the Roland Phantom, I'd probably run out of polyphony, but that's another issue. But yeah, so I just don't see a need for the Nord Stage. I honestly don't see a need for the Nord Stage 4 for me, but maybe you do. For you, maybe you can justify such a purchase. Again, for me, it's not the price. I play professionally. I get paid to make music, to play music, to sing music, to whatever music. And so all instruments are an investment, and I make my money back from every single keyboard and every single studio piece that I buy. I make my money back from it. And so, everything pays for itself. I make way more money using my tools than I spend on the tools themselves. So for me, not really about price. And then when you're considering, hey, what the Nord Stage 3 was in 2017 and what it is now, it's less than $175 as far as a markup is concerned when you adjust for inflation. So, hey, but let me know what you think in the comments. Are you going to buy a Nord Stage 4? Is it just way out of the price range? Do you think it's overpriced? A lot of people are going to think it's overpriced, but technically from a business standpoint, something that is overpriced from a business and marketing standpoint is when your target audience will not pay the price for it. As long as people are willing to pay for it, it's not from a marketing standpoint, from a business standpoint, it's not overpriced. So as long as people are willing to pay for it, you know, Nord is certainly not going to consider overpriced. But, you know, hey, let me know what you think of the Nord Stage 4 in the comments. Are you planning on getting it? Are you waiting? Are you just not going to buy it? It's just too much money. You don't need it. For me, probably not. But we'll see what happens. And that's it. I will see you guys on the next video.